Well, happy Sunday evening, everyone. Chief Meteorologist Joel Fritsma here. Hopefully you guys have had a great Sunday as well. Feel free to stop by, say hello to everyone in chat here. Friendly comments obviously always are appreciated. Let us know how you spent your Sunday out there as we get into our Sunday night weekly here every Sunday at around 7 o'clock. Weather permitting, of course. Again, there's no severe weather today, so good news there. We're going to start the stream by actually looking at our satellite view across the state of Michigan. Here you can see across the state of Michigan today, it's been a nice clear day. There's a little bit of light wildfire smoke out there this evening from our fires over in Canada. Otherwise, you can see out there mostly sunny skies. We had an MCS roll through Indiana earlier today that allowed most of the day to be quiet out there. Or allowed it to be loud out there in Indiana and quiet and cloudy in southern Michigan, and eventually those clouds have tapered off. We also have a secondary line of clouds moving into the western UP later tonight, but again, that should not produce anything in terms of severe weather. Maybe it's a little bit of light rain. Speaking of tonight, we're also going to look at our our sunset forecast here from sunsetwx.com. This is a map that is used for denoting where the most vibrant colors in the sunset will be this evening. And you can see across the UP, northern Michigan, perhaps even central Michigan as well, some hotter colors out there. So around 8:30 and later this evening, you want to go outside and take a look to the west, feel free to do so. Some vibrant colors are expected out there with a little bit of those high clouds mixing in with some of that wildfire smoke. So something to keep in mind out there. If you guys want to go out, take a look out west after the stream is over tonight, feel free to do so. Speaking of the stream out there, feel free to hit that like button if you're just joining us here tonight. And now we're going to dive into what to expect this week. As you can see in our topic on the stream, it is the Ring of Fire. Now, this Ring of Fire is responsible for a couple of things across the state of Michigan and also across the Midwest and just anywhere across the middle of the contiguous United States. And again, that basically has to do with high pressure. So high pressure is your area where there's a lot of high pressure in the atmosphere. It's preventing clouds from billowing up. There's negative buoyancy in the atmosphere. And what's happening is no clouds are really forming, and so that gives most of our area over the central portions of the United States, the Mississippi Valley region, the Central Plains, adequate time to just billow up a bunch of heat, a bunch of humidity, because it's also advecting a bunch of moisture from the Gulf. You can see here on our kind of zoomed out view of the United States, and again, Michigan's going to be right up here in the top right. We have this area of high pressure developing down in the Mississippi Valley region. Now this is as of Monday, so this is Monday night going into Tuesday. You can see that area of high pressure starts to really spin and starts to advect a little bit further north. And what's happening is all of this moisture from the Gulf is getting advected through Texas, up through Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, into Minnesota and even in Wisconsin. And what's happening is all that moisture is getting evicted around the top of what we call this heat bubble and going and getting spit out into us here in Michigan. Now that bubble will kind of move, and the ridge will also, this ring of fire around the outside of the bubble will move as well and wobble, which makes predicting severe thunderstorms throughout the week a little bit tougher. But nonetheless, storms are expected throughout the week. We'll go into that here in just a second. But again, this is evicting all that air, again, because everything spins clockwise around a high pressure system. All that air is getting evicted around the backside, the west side of the high pressure, and thrown up into portions of the UP, Wisconsin, Minnesota. And you can see here that we also have our jet increasing as well as we get towards that midweek time frame. Now what that means is that also helps vent some storms out and about. Again, it also drives storms. It's basically their driving motion for storms to develop. And if you get stronger winds in the mid-levels to upper levels, that can also enhance a little bit of our severe weather as well. So something to keep in mind here as we get into the midweek time frame, we have a little bit of a squeezed jet there where we have a low pressure from the north, high pressure to the south. And that moves to the UP and also down towards us in the lower peninsula as we get into Thursday here. And kind of has some zonal flow as it goes across the state. And again, that bubble right now is, as of Thursday, would be right in the Kentucky, Tennessee Valley regions. And then again, as we get into Friday, Saturday, that bubble starts to kind of fall apart, but nonetheless, you're still evecting moisture in from the Gulf around the top side and into portions of Michigan. But you can see that stationary front starts to dip a little bit further south. So as we get throughout the week, it appears that this action is going to move from the upper peninsula down through the lower peninsula. And then again, as we get into the weekend, then it will also still remain there Saturday into Sunday as well, with a little bit of enhancement from a low pressure system up in the Hudson Bay, bringing down an additional area of troughing, which will also enhance a couple more storms perhaps Saturday into Sunday. So that is the big picture. It's a little confusing for those who might have not seen a ring of fire before, but essentially that's what's happening here is high pressure, middle of the United States. With high pressure, it basically drops down all the cloud chances of developing. You'll still get pulse thunderstorms in an area of a high pressure system when you have stronger atmosphere out there, I guess you could say, in terms of instability purposes, which is our storm fuel. But the main driving factor is around the outside of that ring of fire. You get a trough or a long wave trough that kind of just forms. It backs all that moisture in, all of that heat. Again, all the ingredients, shear lift, instability, moisture, all there. And they get basically they bombard us here in the Great Lakes region for days on end. So it's something we'll have to watch out here. We can't really break the ring of fire, and it's something we'll have to be watching from really Tuesday on into Sunday. Going day by day in terms of precipitation, now this is something you guys are going to look at here and say, well, it's a little low resolution. Well, this is the GFS. Unfortunately, GFS has, it's like 12K or 16K resolution, so every 16 kilometers it's taking a data point of. Unfortunately, we don't have a long-range model that has a lot of like high resolution, but again, that would take forever to load a model like that. So maybe in the future we'll get a low-res extended model. But as of right now, this is what we got, the GFS. This is showing a pretty clear day for your Monday, and we get into Tuesday. Overall, another clear day. Mostly sunny skies are expected out there. Then we look into Tuesday night, and we start to see perhaps a couple scattered strong to severe thunderstorms move into the western UP. That action will move in through the UP Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, and perhaps into northern lower as we get through the day on Wednesday. Now, as that ring of fire starts to shift Wednesday into Thursday, some of that time, around that time of midweek, that area of storms starts to dip a little bit further south. So as we get into Thursday here, you can see that line of showers and storms that might form will move south through the state. And also would result in, because this rain is training over the same areas as that front slowly moves south, perhaps a little bit of a flash flooding threat. Again, with how much moisture we're going to have out there this week at dew points in the 70s, something we'll have to be monitoring for excessive rainfall. And again, flash flooding usually occurs when you get 3-4 inches of rain in about an hour or 2 hour time frame. You really don't need a whole lot, but again, that's something we'll be monitoring throughout the week as well. We get into Friday, then it becomes more of a pop-up storm day as well. As you can see, there's just kind of splotches everywhere throughout the lower peninsula and even up there in the upper peninsula as well. Perhaps have a couple Boeing segments move into the area as well from Wisconsin, Minnesota that ride that ridge. That would be into Saturday and perhaps into Sunday as well. So ultimately, it's going to be a day or a week of beyond Tuesday, so Wednesday through Sunday, where you have mixture of partly cloudy skies and then on occasion a couple passing storms, as well as pop-up storms, which is going to be possible due to how much instability we have with how much heat and humidity is in the area. So again, we have that heat bubble, and nearby storms that are riding that ridge is pulling all that moisture and all that instability right nearby from that heat bubble and just allowing these line segments to kind of move through, or just pulse thunderstorms in general. Now, the one thing that I'm going to mention here real quick is this is around the time of the year we kind of see the derecho composite kind of increase a little bit. And what a derecho is basically a long-term or basically multi-state damaging wind event. It kind of makes like a Boeing shape across a couple states. Here in Michigan, we average about one derecho every year and a half or so. Sometimes one every 2 years, so it's not. It's pretty rare that we get a derecho in Michigan, but again, with a 1 in every 2 year chance, we could see one. And again, with a pattern like this, especially when we get into the later months of July, August, when you also have that corn sweat, when all that moisture is getting evaporated off the corn that's planted across Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, that really fuels the instability values. We use it. It's called CAPE. So. Basically, that CAPE is your storm fuel, and we look for values over 1,000. We're getting to the time of year where CAPE values are around 5,000, maybe a little bit higher, so like 5 times the normal value, and all that CAPE would result in perhaps a couple damaging wind segments that would move across the Great Lakes region, the Midwest. Not usually they kind of bypass us, but on occasion they can cross Lake Michigan and hit us here in the Lower Peninsula. Sometimes also dip into the Upper Peninsula as well. So both peninsulas could be at risk. Right now, I will tell you this. Good news here is on the composites, as you can see, there's not really any signs of any major derecho coming up. And again, a derecho is classified after the event happens anyways. So even if there are line segments on here that we can see, we won't know if it's actually a derecho until the event is over. Kind of similar, how do they rate tornadoes? They rate tornadoes after a tornado has already happened. They go out the next day and rate the damage. So something to keep in mind. Again, just kind of putting it out there, not saying that's going to happen, but again, we are getting to that time of the year where the derecho composites really start to peak when you go to from July into the August time frame. And again, with a ring of fire setup, that is usually the most common setup for a derecho or two across the Great Lakes Midwest region. So it might not happen here, but it could happen if you are traveling, to Minnesota or Wisconsin or Iowa, for example. Iowa seems to get it all the time, and that derecho usually would track into Illinois and Indiana. So something to keep in mind. But again, as you can see here on the radar, it just looks like a bunch of low to medium end strong storm events. Not really anything that screams severe at the current time. But again, when we have these systems move through, damaging winds are still possible, but not in the amount that we might think for derecho. So good news there. We move into Sunday, as mentioned. Again, pop-up storms are possible throughout the end of the weekend. And then we are going to also turn into the temperatures. So we start with storms. We're not done yet. We got to talk about the heat here in just a moment. But we're going to start with the dew points. You'll see here in our 7-day forecast, which we just released on our Facebook page. Basically, we put the word humid on pretty much every single day this week, minus tomorrow. Tuesday for the UP in northern Michigan, and then Wednesday and beyond, it's going to be humid every single day. So this is the Euro deterministic model. This is going to show you your dew points throughout the week ahead. And anything really above 60 is not what I would consider comfortable. You can say 55 is humid. For me, I would say 55 is teetering on the edge of humid and fairly pleasant for a summer day. And you can see throughout the day on Monday, dew point temperatures will be in the mid-50s out there, with the exception of maybe southwest Michigan, where you could surpass 60 degrees. But overall, that should be a comfortable day tomorrow as well. We're moving to Tuesday. Some dry air advects in back from the east, so dew points could drop into the high 40s at times, so it could be a nice dry day on Tuesday. But as you can see, as we move into Tuesday night, when those severe storms or those strong storms that might move into the western UP move in, that could also bring in those dew points as well, which makes sense. Dew points up there in the high 60s. Meanwhile, downstate, the humidity also starting to build in a little bit, but not to the extent of the UP in northern Michigan. Then we move into Wednesday, and here it comes. There is our 70-degree dew points. Again, anything over 70 is basically miserable. For us here in Michigan, I know people that are visiting from, Texas, Florida. They're like, we see these dew points all the time. What the heck? What are you guys complaining about? Mind you, these are the same people that are saying, it's colder in the winter, or it's colder down there in the winter. They can't survive 32 degrees. So, it's all a matter of where you live and what you're used to. So here in Michigan, we're not used to dew points really over 70, 72 degrees, especially over a long stretch like a week. We usually get occasional days. But again, dew points here in the low to mid 70s possible as soon as Wednesday. And then this is through Wednesday night. You can see dew points all the way up near 75 degrees already on Wednesday night. This is not even going to be the hottest day. We turn to Thursday here, and look at those dew points really start to peak. Those dew points could get up towards 80 degrees across portions of southern Michigan. Otherwise, if you go up to the UP, northern Michigan, dew points near 75 degrees there as well. Again, you can see these dew points slightly drop out there, and that is due to the rain that would move through the area, allowing the atmosphere to kind of cool down in a way for a little bit, but the humidity just continues to bombard us here as we get into the weekend time frame. This is going to be your Friday time frame. Dew points still in the low 70s out there. A little bit of relief for the upper peninsula, but again, dew points in the 60s, mid 60s. Not a whole lot of relief unless you're up there near the Lake Superior shoreline. And again, this is Friday, so dew points 70s. Getting to Saturday, still there. Dew points in the 70s as well, near 75 degrees again, south of I-94. And then Sunday as well, dew points starting to kind of take a backwards step a little bit. UP still in the 60s, near 70 for many locations across northern and central UP, or lower peninsula, and then closer to 73, 74, perhaps closer to 75 as you get down towards the state line of Indiana and Ohio. So unfortunately, once we get into Wednesday, we're just jumping into the pool of Verners essentially for this week ahead and basically soaking in it, the high dew points. You'll probably see the muggy meter come out tomorrow. Ryan's got you guys covered Monday and Tuesday this week in terms of posts. So the muggy meter is definitely going to be taking another step forward here. We were looking on our Facebook page for names for our muggy meter for our category 75 and above, because we're probably going to have to bring it out this week seeing our Euro run here. So those are our dew points for the week. We also have to look at our temperatures just in general. And in fact, we're not going to just talk about the temperatures. We're going to talk about those feels like temperatures, because that is a combination of both the heat and the humidity. And again, us as humans, our skin feels the feels like temperature, not the air temperature. So the feels like temperature is what your body reacts to. So when the feels like temperatures go past 98 degrees, 100 degrees, now the air is hotter than your blood is. So that is going to put you more at risk for heat-related illnesses. So this is why we do use somewhat strong wording when we get these heat indexes above 100 degrees, because again, even the healthiest individuals are at risk for heat-related illnesses, heat stroke, heat exhaustion, you name it. It's not fun, and it could result in some life-altering health issues for you. So please take it seriously, especially as we get into the later half of this week. We'll go through it right now, starting with Monday. Heat index values, really, it's about the same as the air temperatures. Air temperatures tomorrow. Actually, this is the air temperatures. We'll go to there we go. You can see there's no change. The air temperatures, the heat index values are the same. We get into Tuesday. Heat index values really starting to creep in there across Illinois and Wisconsin. Not that bad yet for Michigan. Perhaps up there in the UP, you can start to feel it as that humidity builds in Tuesday night. Then we move in to Wednesday, which has missing data. Wednesday just has randomly missing data for some reason. That actually is Wednesday at 8 p.m. So it's not peak daytime heating, but that gives you a good idea of what to expect. So heat index values already on Wednesday in the mid 90s for much of the lower peninsula. Upper peninsula kind of has a shield going on there along the Menominee River. Then we get into Thursday. Where is all our data going? Oh, I think it's because it's still running. We'll have to go back. We'll have to go back a run. It looks like it was still trying to generate the model that's coming in. So this will give you a better idea. There, it's like, where's it all going there? Here we go. This is Wednesday as of 6 o'clock. This is a much better idea. So you could already see heat index values of 100 degrees down there in southwest Michigan, Grand Rapids, Holland, even over towards Kalamazoo and Battle Creek. Otherwise, again, mid 90s for heat index values across much of the lower peninsula on Wednesday. And again, that can still result in heat-related illnesses, so you do want to take it seriously, even if it isn't the peak day. Then we move into Thursday. This is the day to watch. This is where we really start to see that threat move over to the east side of the state, and those heat index values could be between 100 and 105 degrees. Unfortunately, going to add to the dryness as well if there is no precipitation involved with this. Fingers crossed for some precipitation during this time, so it makes it feel a lot less than 100 degrees, but this is what to expect for Thursday. You can see widespread high 90s into the low 100s for heat index values. Heat advisories likely to be issued, or extreme heat watches could be issued as early as Monday or Tuesday, upgraded to a heat advisory by the time we get to Wednesday into Thursday. So keep that in mind. Then we get into Friday, and those heat index values are still in the low 90s, so it'll still be a hot day. Saturday, same thing, around 90 degrees. Sunday could be also a little bit of a rebound on Sunday as well, where you get back into the mid-90s for that day. So overall, hot and humid is the story this week. Wednesday through Sunday. It really starts Tuesday night for the UP, but Wednesday through Sunday, a 5-day stretch here through the end of the week, where heat and humidity will be the topic here at Michigan Storm Chasers, here wherever you go in the state of Michigan. If you're visiting, welcome to the state of Michigan. This is the hottest days of the summer. We hope you guys enjoy the state of Michigan. We have a lot to offer here in the state of Michigan, but definitely be taking your necessary precautions, because you can get heat stroke, heat-related illnesses no matter where you go. And as always, make sure you're getting, if you're going out to have a tan, put on that sunscreen. Just take care of your skin, take care of your body. You guys know what to do. It's common sense, but a lot of people don't have that common sense. It's called uncommon sense for a reason. And just want to make people aware. That's why we say like and share these streams, so you guys can let your friends and family know that might not actually follow us here at Michigan Storm Chasers, because we only have a following of about 450,000 of you guys, which if you think about it is only around 4 to 5% of the state's population. So the more people we can spread this word to this week about the excessive heat, the better, because again, another reminder here I will mention real quick is on your phone, obviously weather apps, they're okay, but when you look at long term, if you use your weather app for a 7-day forecast, it doesn't usually tell you that heat index. It shows you the air temperature on your phone. So if you look at it right now, it probably says high 80s, low 90s throughout the week this week, but it's not showing you that heat index that I just mentioned to you guys. And again, that heat index is the temperature that your skin feels, so that's why it's more important than the actual air temperature itself. So that is why we're here to provide this information to you guys, because a lot of people don't have access to models that we're showing you on the screen right down here at the bottom. So that's why we're here. That's why I want to bring this information to you guys. Hopefully you guys, take this and spread the word. Again, on our Facebook page, we have already posts out for the heat this week, and we'll have more posts out starting tomorrow and Tuesday as well for more like tips and guidelines and forecasts to come ahead. So again, excessive heat is possible, or probable, I should say, from Wednesday through Sunday for the entirety of Michigan. A little bit cooler when you get into the Upper Peninsula, but overall still going to be a hot and muggy one out there no matter where you're at in the state this week. The only relief I will say is probably the Keweenaw Peninsula. So if anyone has any family vacations, trips up there into the Keweenaw Peninsula, north of Houghton, it'll probably feel a little bit comfortable up there. Again, Lake Superior right now, temperatures for Lake Superior are in the 50s, even in the 40s in some spots. So that lake water will help keep things cool around, the peninsula up there in the Keweenaw Peninsula. So again, if you want relief, just keep heading north. I would say get into Canada, but once you get away from Lake Superior, then that heat really starts to build in as well. You can see there on the top right of your screen, it's like heat index values of near 90 there as well. So just keep heading north, or just stay in Lake Superior for the week if you don't want this weather. But again, it'll eventually come back. Winter's coming. I hate to say it, but Ryan would love to say it if he was here, but winter is coming eventually. This is for all the winter lovers. If you're back in the winter right now, we would say, summer's coming. Don't worry, just got to get through this week, got to get through the next couple weeks. Then the temperatures will start getting colder, or if you're in the winter, start getting warmer. So again, this just happens to be probably the hottest week of the summer upcoming. So do with that information as you please. And yeah, as this comment says in here, it's ice cream for dinner type of week. I like that comment from Kendra here on YouTube. Thank you for that. Good humor. But yeah, that is what we have in store for this weekend. Here's the severe weather outlook also for Tuesday night. Marginal risk. It's a level 1 out of 5 from the Storm Prediction Center, but they just added that slight risk just off to the west in the afternoon update today. So that slight could move towards the western Upper Peninsula as we get into further outlook. So keep in mind we might have a severe risk for the UP, western UP, Tuesday night. And as we go through the week, we'll have our own in-house forecast out on all of our social media pages. Our main social media page being our Facebook, of course. Again, we have 451,000 followers now on Facebook, which is insane. But we appreciate you guys for following along and trusting us as your number one source of all things weather here in Michigan. We'll have those severe weather outlooks out throughout the week, as well as all those heat products. And lastly, here is your 7-day outlooks for the week. This is for Monday through Sunday next weekend, so the 21st through the 27th, starting here with the southern portions of the state. So this does include Muskegon, you have Grand Rapids, you have Lansing, and Flint, all those cities and points south. So if you heard your city there and you live south of that, this is the forecast for you guys throughout the week. This is what we, behind the scenes took all of those models that we looked at here and came up with an area-wide temperatures. Now, obviously, these temperatures are going to be off by probably 3 to 5 degrees in some locations because this is an area-wide average. But this is an area-wide average, so keep in mind it's the most likely temperature throughout the entire area. So it will be colder, some warmer in spots. We saw some spots actually that could be close to 98 or 99 degrees as a high if those heat index values and humidity really starts to build in down along the border. But again, area-wide forecast here, 95 for Thursday. Again, nicest day is going to be tomorrow with low humidity and temperatures near 80. 82 Tuesday, 91 on Wednesday, and you can see all the humid icons through the rest of the weekend. High 80s as you get into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Central Michigan, kind of the same thing. We have a little bit more hotter temperatures, especially when you get into the downsloping in portions of the east side of the state. 76 tomorrow, 81 on Tuesday, 92, 96 Wednesday, Thursday, high 80s as you get into the weekend. Go into the northern Michigan. So central Michigan is going to be north of 96 and 69, so north of Grand Rapids, north of Lansing, all the way up to the M72 corridor. And then for northern Michigan, north of M72, as well as the eastern UP, so Sault Ste. Marie, basically Mackinac and Chippewa counties is included in the northern Michigan forecast. Mostly sunny, 70s both days here for Monday and Tuesday. Thunderstorms really start to pick up as you get into Wednesday and Thursday, and as that ring of fire starts to shift a little bit further south, we get to some clearer skies Friday and Saturday, and then pop-up thunderstorms on Sunday. Although I will say this, no matter where you're at in the state, honestly, just expect pop-up thunderstorms between Wednesday and Sunday because of how humid it'll be out there. Again, when you have so much moisture out there, it just wants to go somewhere. So expect pop-up storms really any time between Wednesday and Sunday. Even though we say here the most likely condition area-wide is partly cloudy, mostly sunny for northern Michigan this week, you could still easily see pop-up storms on Friday and Saturday given how humid it'll be out there. And then lastly here is western upper peninsula. So it's basically the entirety of the western peninsula. It does include central, all the way over to around Newberry. So if you live west of Newberry, this forecast is for you guys here in the upper peninsula. If you're taking a vacation up there this weekend, again, biggest tourist time of the year here for the state of Michigan is in July. We're starting to kind of wind down for tourism season. But again, this is your forecast for the upper peninsula. You have 75 tomorrow. Humidity starts building as early as Tuesday, 81, 88. 79, 74 for Thursday, Friday, cools off a little bit. Still humid though, and then back into Sunday we get a little bit of a rebound of heat, 82, 83 there. And again, this forecast was taken centralized at the Sawyer International Airport in Marquette. So again, wide area across the upper peninsula, especially if you're near Lake Superior. You're going to probably you're going to probably take off 10 degrees from some of these temperatures where the colder lake waters are in effect. So again, that's an unfortunate part. I just said the F. Replace the F with a P. The unfortunate part, I'm not going to live that down, the unfortunate part of living by the lake, okay? If you're living along Lake Superior, if you live along Lake Huron, Lake Michigan, you've always had that thing where it's always 5 degrees colder, 10 degrees colder, or if it's in the wintertime, 5 to 10 degrees warmer because, the lake water's warm throughout the year and in the fall it gets colder inland. So, yeah, a lot of information this week in terms of the heat. This is the Western Upper Peninsula's forecast. Again, humid throughout all the days. And if you missed any of these regional 7-day forecasts, you can find them on our Facebook page right now, Michigan Storm Chasers, with the verification mark. So I just word vomited here for about a half hour. I guess I'll go to the comments now here real quick. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. If you got your daily dose of me, your daily dose of all these temperatures here, feel free to hit that like button on the way out. But we're going to go over to the comments now. Again, good sunset tonight. If you're heading out, make sure to point your cameras west, take a picture of them, and it'll be a good night out there to get some picturesque photos. I actually have to open the comments. Give me a sec. 1 second. Starting first, of course, with our super chats, we have Red Dozier sending 10 gifted memberships to our YouTube subscribers over here. So thank you, Red Dozier. Appreciate you very much for your support of the channel, as always. And congratulations to those 10 subscribers here on our YouTube channel that have just been gifted a 30-day membership, courtesy of Red Dozier. So thank you, Red. Again, subscribing on YouTube is completely free to do. Basically, all you have to do is have a Google account, which pretty much everybody has. If you don't, Google account, easy to sign up. Go over to YouTube, click the subscribe button. Boom. 30 seconds. You got it. And again, we're also closing in on a milestone here on YouTube as well. 100,000 subscribers. So 500,000 on Facebook, 100,000 on YouTube. Make sure you're following us on both. And once we get to those milestones, we'll have giveaways to our followers on both platforms. So make sure you're following us on those. We also have a super chat, $5 super chat from Julie, one of our mods here at MSC, saying, Joel, we will allow the S word later this week when it's disrespectful outside without swear jar penalty. Good to know. I'll pass it along to Ryan as well because he's the one that says the S word all the time. But thank you for letting us know, Julie. And as always, thank you for the super chat and supporting operations here at MSC. Stay hydrated, everyone. Absolutely. I'm hydrated just from talking about this, so I need a little bit of a drink. And this is what you're looking at right now is live satellite, so you can see clouds are not really going to be an issue tonight out there. But if you can see real closely, this little thin layer of gray here, that is all wildfire smoke kind of in the area tonight. So from Wisconsin over through portions of the lower peninsula. It was in the upper peninsula earlier today, and it has since sunk down from the upper peninsula down into portions of the lower peninsula. So overall going to be a little bit of a hazy sunset out there tonight, which is why a nice night for sunset opportunity, sunset photos. As a reminder, even the healthiest individuals can get heat stroke, heat exhaustion, heat sickness, you name it. And again, those heat-related illnesses, especially heat stroke, basically irreversible health effects. So keep that in mind. Just being realistic, of course, as well. You know, you don't want to sound scary, but when us here in Michigan, you know, we only see a couple days a year where these dew points get into the mid-70s, upwards of 80 degrees. Heat index value is 100 to 105. We're not really built for it. Built to last, I guess you could say. I mean, you just have to take your precautionary steps and you'll be good. And just by watching this live stream tonight, you know the heat's coming. So what you got to do is you got to go out and spread the word to everyone else. We'll go to the 7-day so you guys can see it here. Why can't we just have 75 to 80 degree temperatures with low humidity and a light breeze until fall with no tornadoes or flash floods? Unfortunately, we live in an imperfect world, and once you have a bunch of ingredients come together, you know, anything's possible. So unfortunately, we can't control the weather, but if we could, we'd give you the ideal day. But unfortunately for everyone, the ideal day is not the same for somebody else. So for some people, the ideal day is, you know, 75 degrees and partly cloudy skies. For other people, it's 20 degrees, 5 inches of snow, and a 30-mile-per-hour wind, basically near blizzard conditions. So everyone has a different definition of a perfect day, but I think the general consensus is probably around 60 to 70 degrees with sunny skies and low wind is usually around what's comfortable for everybody. But again, it's different for everyone else. It's Jaws week and impending heat, or Shark week and impending heat week. So cue the Jaw theme music. Good point. When is the extreme heat moving out this time? From Sue, the $2 super chat here on YouTube. Thank you, Sue. We can go ahead and take a look. Extended past next Sunday. So if we get towards, we're actually just going to go to normal. Well, no, heat index would tell us if it's going to be humid or not anyways. So yeah, we'll go through the heat index into Monday. Still going to be decently hot on Monday. Looks like a little bit of relief to, again, 9 days away. Looks like starting to taper off a little bit as we get into mid portions of the next week. So about 9 or 10 days away. So really you just have to get through Wednesday this week to about Monday starting next week. So the next 3 to 8 days is going to be the most humid stretch. And again, temperatures are still going to be near 80 degrees once we get into the next week, unless something drastic changes. And then really after that, we can't guarantee you what's really going to happen beyond 2 weeks out. So In terms of trends, we'll keep watching them, but it looks like in terms of the most humid stretch, it's just going to be the next 5 days between Wednesday and Sunday this upcoming week, perhaps Monday. But it is summer. We just got to hang on and deal with it, just like we did in the winter. You know, the minus 21 degree wind chill that I saw in like the first week of January, that was brutal. I went to a concert with my girlfriend, and I remember that night very vividly. It was it was brutal out there. We had to walk through downtown Grand Rapids a couple blocks, and I could not feel my face when I got to the doors. So remember, it's coming. You guys know that. For those who lived here a long time, it's coming. But yeah, I will be off on Monday and Tuesday, so I'll be away from forecasting for a couple days this week. Ryan's got you guys covered if you guys are curious. Sneak peek to all the posts that are coming for the beginning parts of this week. So that's why I'm saying you might see the S word Monday and Tuesday this week, because Ryan's going to be heading operations a little bit the next couple of days. So I don't know if he's watching right now. I think he's doing severe weather coverage for Indiana, because there is a couple severe storms down there near Evansville tonight. But yeah, Monday, Tuesday this week. Watch out for some Ryan posts out there, okay? Yeah, the bug post was my idea today. I'm excited for fall too, but I'm going to enjoy the summer while I got it, because fall is my favorite season. October birthday kind of biased a little bit, but fall in Michigan, you really can't beat it. Those changing colors and falling leaves and all that stuff. But again, second favorite season's got to be summer by far. Nothing beats a good night to watch a nice sunset with temperatures that you can go outside and wear shorts, go to the beach, have a nice beach day, enjoy all the amenities that come with summer and just being outdoors in general. It's a good second favorite month for me. But fall, I'm a big football fan. Can't beat that. You have the cider and the donuts, the corn mazes. It's coming. But again, I love fall and I love summer pretty equally. So this is about my favorite stretch of the year right now, and hopefully probably some of you guys as well. Also, going back to the severe weather coverage in Indiana, just going to plug this real quick. If you haven't followed our Indiana pages yet, we run Indiana Storm Chasing Network, Indiana Weather Online, and Indiana Weather Network. We are live on those platforms right now covering severe weather, I believe. I think Ryan is covering that right now for portions of Indiana, unless they went non-severe. No, there is severe warnings in Indiana right now. So that appears to be ongoing tonight, southwest of Indianapolis. So feel free to go check out those accounts. Indiana Weather Network, Indiana Weather Online, Indiana Storm Chasing Network. We're simultaneously streaming on all of those platforms. So go check them out. Go follow us on all of them. Especially if you know anyone from Indiana, feel free to spread the word to them as well. But a little bit about us. If you guys are tuning in, this is your first time watching an MSC stream. First of all, welcome. I'm Chief Meteorologist Joel Fritsma. I do apologize for saying fart instead of part earlier. So good first impression, right? But again, I'm Chief Meteorologist Joel Fritsma, graduate of Central Michigan University. Fire up chips. I'm actually wearing CMU gear tonight. And again, our goal here is to provide accurate forecasts, severe weather coverage, weather education. And on occasion, we also go out and serve in the community. We also do school visits and whatnot. We'd love to serve the state of Michigan. The most recent thing we did for disaster relief was going up north to do ice storm cleanup, repair, supply handout, basically food, drinks, necessary supplies, you name it. We were up there for 2 separate weekends and handed out thousands upon thousands of dollars worth of supplies for everyone up there. So we couldn't do it without you guys who donated through our Amazon wish list. So we thank you guys very much for that. And again, as a result from you guys and your guys' generous support, we were able to transport all that up to northern Michigan and help out your fellow Michiganders. So again, if we have any future natural disasters like that, we plan on going and serving the community. So it's just a little glimpse of what we do here at MSC, no matter what happens here across the state. So thank you guys for following along. And again, if you're new here, feel free to hit that follow button, or if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Again, we love covering you guys, and as our motto reads, we got you covered from beginning to end. Our policy, by the way, for our severe weather coverage is we go live when the first severe thunderstorm warning or first tornado warning pops up. And we stay live all the way until the last severe thunderstorm warning is done in the entire state. So if there's like a big day where it's going to be like a big Boeing segment across the entire state of Michigan, which we could see this week, we might not, who knows. But if it's like a 5-6 hour event, we'll stay live for the entire time, even if there's like a couple breaks in there where there's no severe warnings ongoing, but we still see strong storms. Sometimes we just stay live just in case. So again, it's what do we do here at MSC. We're dedicated to you guys, and we're happy to do it. So again, hit that follow button. I've been informed that my clip of the mispronunciation of part has been clipped already, so that's good to know. But we got a smaller crowd in here tonight, so we're probably going to hop off soon. If you guys have any further questions, just feel free to send us a message on Facebook, any one of our posts. We'll see it. We'll try to answer it if we can. If we're not busy, of course. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and enjoy our Sunday evenings. We hope you guys do as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight, for all of the details revolving around storms this week, humidity, heat, learning a little bit about the Ring of Fire. And hopefully you guys can go out and spread the word to your fellow Michiganders, your friends and family as well. Let us know what we do here at MSC. We love to cover all Michiganders, near and far, Upper Peninsula, Lower Peninsula, the Trolls and the Utes, you name it. We're both on separate sides of the bridges, but we love covering both peninsulas either way. So again, feel free to share our page with all of those people. And again, we'll be back here live for, I don't know, maybe a severe weather briefing if there's severe weather this week. Otherwise, again, we'll have forecast videos posted here on YouTube throughout the week, so make sure you're subscribed. And again, posts, as always, can be found on our Facebook page. So make sure you're following us on YouTube and Facebook. And as always, all of our live streams can be found simultaneously on Facebook, YouTube, as well as Twitch TV, which is newer, and X as well. So 4 different platforms. Severe weather alerts you can find through our Facebook and X platforms as well. MI Storm Chasers is our username for X, by the way. And those come in live as they're issued by the National Alert Service. So we have plenty of resources here at MSC. I could keep going on and on, but the best way to find out all about us is by checking out our website, michiganstormchasers.com, michiganstormchasers.com/staff as well, if you want to learn a little bit about us. But as we close here, I'm going to go ahead and shout out to our sponsors. Again, all of our sponsors are always up here at the top of the screen rolling across, so anytime you forget them, feel free to write down those numbers up there. They're all across the state, primarily the Lower Peninsula, but we are looking for Upper Peninsula sponsors as well. Those applications do close this upcoming week, so feel free to reach out to us in our email found on our Facebook page in our profile. So we'll go ahead and read through our sponsors here as we close this Sunday Night Weekly this evening. Starting with StormGuard Roofing and Construction, based out of North Metro Detroit. Again, those phone numbers can be found right there on the center of the screen. Feel free to write them down as we go through. We also have our premier sponsor of the day, Lifestyle Exteriors, and they are the premier sponsor through all of our posts on our Facebook page earlier today. Call 989-854-3055 for all construction projects from Lansing to Traverse City. Also have Katz Roofing and Siding, based out of Lansing, Potterville, all the way down towards Battle Creek. Pro Powder, for all of your powder coating needs, based out of South Haven. Mike Hayes Roofing and Siding, based out of Sanilac and St. Clair counties. I missed one. Nope, we're good. McKay Tree Specialists, based out of Southeast Michigan. I thought I skipped one here. McKay Tree Specialists, based out of Southeast Michigan, for all of your tree care needs. And for all of your tree care needs out of West Michigan, turn to Kuiper Tree Care. Going down to the next one here, we have FBI Buildings for all of your barn dominium needs across the Lower Peninsula. Schneider Commercial Building Solutions, based out of Lansing, for all of your commercial building needs, commercial roofing needs. On Top Roofing, based out of Livingston County. Shield Public Adjusters, based out of Lansing. Top Gun Roofing and Exteriors, based out of West Michigan. A-Class Construction and Restoration, based out of Mason County. Rainbow Restoration, based out of Kent County as well. We have Rapid Radios for all of your LTE wireless communications. Turn to Rapid. For all of your security camera needs, Guardian Technologies, based out of Burton, Michigan. Again, they are also our supplier of all of our Skynet cams here at MSC, so feel free to reach out if you want to become a camera sponsor. But again, they are also for security camera needs, so if you want more than just a weather camera, turn to Guardian for security cameras. And lastly, we have the Ronald McDonald House of Detroit. You can donate to them today to help families in need find the comfort they deserve in those times of sickness. So thank you to all of our sponsors here at MSC for supporting our operations. We truly cannot do it without them. Again, if we didn't have sponsors, we would not be able to do our live streams every day here at MSC. So again, what we do is not free. We appreciate them for their support. And as always, for you guys supporting us here, whether that is supporting monetarily or not supporting monetarily, the best way to support us for free, as always, is hitting the share button and hitting that like button before you leave the stream tonight. Other than that, again, shout out to our mods in here tonight for helping moderate chat. Hopefully you guys were not too unruly in there. I know I might have misspoke once, and you guys probably grilled me for it. But again, hopefully you're not grilling yourselves in there in chat and keeping everything nice and PG. So thank you guys for moderating tonight, for those who are in here. And again, thank you guys so much for liking, following along here at MSC. We truly can't do it without you guys as well. So I'm going to hop off for the night. Enjoy the rest of my Sunday night. Hope you guys do as well. Enjoy the sunset out there. Look to the west. Take your cameras out. Enjoy it. It's a nice nice ending of our weekend here across the state of Michigan on the 20th of July. I'm Chief Meteorologist Joel Fritsma signing out for tonight. Hope you guys have a great night as well. I'll catch you next time here at Michigan Storm Chasers. Have a great night, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.